Hey everybody, welcome back to Drawing from Home. I'm your lovely host, Miss Dillon. So today what we're going to go ahead and do is another how to draw video. So we're going to go ahead and learn how to draw a tiger face. So we did the cat for our first project. This is going to be a little bit more difficult. So what we're going to go ahead and start doing is, first things first, you're going to have to get obviously a paper and a pencil, and you should have an eraser just like usual, because you are going to make mistakes just like I am. Mistakes are common and almost required in art. Not your first thing will never be the first. It won't be perfect the first time you're going around. Okay, so you're gonna mess up. You do need an eraser. No issues with that. So once you have your piece of paper, make sure that it is angled horizontally, so landscape orientation. You do not want it to be vertical, okay, because otherwise you're not going to have enough room for your tiger's face, okay? So you want to make sure that it's not like this, it's like this, okay? So first things first, our tiger face is going to be pretty big. It's going to take up most of the paper, so we're going to do a big circle, okay? So we want that circle to be as much in the center as you can do it. If you have something big to trace, because usually in class, you know, when we need circles, we'll trace one of our cups or whatever to get a perfect circle. If you have something big to trace for a perfect circle, like the bottom of a plate or something like that, you can use that. Just ask your parents for one, of course, or if you can get one yourself if you're old enough. Up to you guys. But if you don't have something to trace, that's okay. You can just go ahead and do your best circle. It might take a couple tries. Circles are pretty hard to do, and if it's not perfect, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so a pretty big circle. It's going to be like if you see online, it's about the size of the paper itself, just kind of leaving the corners out. So this is going to be the base for our tiger's face. Okay, so once you have that, what we're going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit more of an oval over here on this side. Make it a little skinnier on the top and bottoms. So what we're going to go ahead and do next is draw the nose and the neck. If you need a little bit more time to draw the circle or the oval, whichever you're doing, doesn't matter too much. Whichever one you're doing, you can go ahead and pause the video right here until you're ready, and then go ahead and continue it. So yeah, that's I'm happy with that. Okay, so like I said, we're doing the neck and the nose. So obviously the neck goes underneath the head. We don't want a weird floating tiger head. So what we're going to do is we'll kind of do two straight lines on the bottom of the circle. Just like that. It looks a little funny, but like we've done in the past, things look kind of weird in the sketch phase, but it comes together. You just got to sort of trust the process. I'm just going to keep fixing this side until I'm happy with it. See, so even I'm erasing quite a lot. I know sometimes some people get frustrated when their first sketch isn't good enough, or they have to do something a couple different times, but I've erased this part of my oval 3 or 4 times. Okay, so even your teacher gets mistakes. Okay? Alright. Perfect. Alright, I like that. So again, straight lines for the neck, and then for the nose, try and get it a little underneath. So if this is our circle, so we've got sort of the center of the circle is right in the middle here. Okay, try to get it a little lower than the center. And if you need to, you can kind of draw these guiding lines. So I'm just doing a straight line down and then a straight line across. So a vertical and a horizontal line. So something like that. Okay, and then the center is where they intersect with one another, so where they touch. So right underneath that line, the sort of horizontal guiding line, you're going to do another horizontal line like that. And again, try to get into the middle. And try not to make it too big, this next part too big, because otherwise you won't have room for the muzzle, so sort of the snout where all the whiskers and mouth goes. So then what we'll do, we're going to connect these lines with a curving line, like that. Okay. If you want to make it a little bit more pointed, you can do that. So if you want to do, instead of like the curving lines, if you want to do like a pointed nose like this, you can do that too. It's up to you. It's your tiger. It's not mine. Okay. So I think for my tiger, I'm going to do the pointed nose. But again, you can do the curved nose, up to you. Okay. So that's what you should have now. Alright. Now keep in mind, sometimes people ask me, like, am I going to have to keep these guiding lines? No, you're going to erase these. So make sure when you do draw these, draw them light, as you should be drawing everything light, because again, if you mess up, you're going to have to erase. And if you dig in really hard with your pencil, that it's not going to erase very well. So if it's one skill I want you guys to learn is to remember to draw light so you can erase. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the kind of top part of the muzzle. So what we'll do is on the corners of our nose, so like here and here, we're going to go ahead and do some lines to connect the nose to the rest of the face. So now that we have that in place, now that you know where you're going to go ahead and draw your corners, again, just like usual, if you need to kind of draw very faint X's that you can erase later, so you can kind of almost connect the dots, you can do that. So I'm going to draw those light X's there. So remember, we are going to erase them. So from this X, I'm going to go up all the way to the top of my circle. So a diagonal line. So remember, diagonal lines are slanted lines. Okay, like that. And then do the same thing on this side. So this way, but I'm going to do the opposite angle of my diagonal line, like that. Alright? And again, if you're falling behind, you can thankfully pause the video until you're caught up. If you need to rewind anything, go ahead and do that. Like that. Okay? And then I can erase those X's. Alright, so go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go ahead and erase these guiding lines because we don't really need them anymore. So if you did do your guiding lines, you can erase them now after you're done with that. Do that. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is do the rest of the muzzle. So sort of where the mouth and the whiskers are going to go. So a little underneath those corners of the nose that we just did. So this is where our corners were, so if you do that in red. So we just connected these two with this. We're going to go a little underneath. So like right here is what we're going to do next. So like right here. So I'm going to do those little X's so you guys can see. If you need to do those, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to do two more diagonal lines. So these are going to be sort of for our muzzle, the side of the muzzle. So we're going to go here, connect, like that. Connect. That until you touch the edge of the oval. Alright, so one more time. Connect. Connect. Okay. And then if you need to do this a couple times until you're happy with how it looks. Like that. Okay? And then I'm going to just go ahead and erase our guiding X's because we don't need them anymore. Like that. Like that. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and do our stripes. So the stripes, we're going to make this easy. We're just going to make them triangles, okay? So you don't have to worry too much about making them perfect. All you're going to do is go around the edges of your oval and do triangles like this. Now you can make some big, you can make some small, playing around with scale and contrast. So contrast, remember, is how things are different from one another. So if you see here, I've made these two stripes big and then this one small. And that makes it a little bit more interesting to look at. So I'm going to do maybe two small stripes down here. So something like that. Now while you're doing this, make sure you're not making them too long because we still have to do the eyes inside. And if you make them too long, the stripes, there won't be any room for the eyes. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So they're pretty short. Don't make them go all the way out, because again, we want to make sure that we have room for the eyes. And while you're also doing the stripes, make sure that you're not crossing this line, sort of the muzzle lines, because a tiger does not have stripes on that part of their face. So let me get a tiger face so you guys can see real fast. They kind of have the little dots where their whiskers go, so let's see here. So if you see here, they have, I'll kind of highlight it in white, they have the dots here, but they don't have any of their actual stripes in the white part of their muzzle. Okay, so just be careful with that. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is the mouth and the eyes. I'm actually going to make this a little too light, so I'm going to make this a little darker real fast. Wonderful. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to make this pretty simple. It's going to be kind of a cartoony, but it's totally fine. Do a little sort of almost kind of like a smiley face. Now, what I would want to do with this is to make it look a little bit more realistic, honestly. If you like the cartoony look, you can just kind of have the smiley face in the middle there, that's fine. But I know some of you guys like doing it more realistic. What you can do is, if you can erase this real fast, is if you'll notice the tiger, the nose is right here, of course. Let me highlight that in red so you can see it a little easier. You'll see that there's a line at the end, sort of the end point of their nose that goes down and then connects with the rest of the mouth. So if you want to do that, what you'll do, find the point of your nose at the bottom, do a straight line, and then do kind of a big kitty mouth like that. Now we kind of did this in our first cat drawing that we did when we first started doing these sort of draw along at home videos. So remember doing that line and then the big kitty mouth. Now make sure you do the mouth pretty big. Don't do it small like this, because tigers have really, really big mouths, okay? Gotta fit those teeth somewhere. So make sure they kind of extend a little bit more like that. Okay? So, that's what it should look like. But again, if you want to do that sort of more cartoony smiley face, or even if you want to do an angry face or like a frowny face, hold on. Because I know some of you guys like doing things angry with the angry eyebrows and stuff. You can do it like that too. It's your tiger. You don't have to copy mine. Make it whatever you want to. All we really trying to do is make it look like a tiger, but his personality or her personality can be whatever you want it to be. You can add your own style to it. Okay, so now we're going to do the eyes. Our eyes, just for right now, we're going to have them sort of closed. So to make closed eyes, we've never actually done this before, but it's kind of easy. Well, for my first graders, we did it with our reindeer. We did a while back. We're going to do sort of just kind of almost like upside down C's almost. Like that. Almost like he's dreaming. We're taking a moment of peace and relaxing. Like that. Okay, so his eyes are closed. See, it's kind of cool just seeing how just a simple shape like that can make something look like it's has like closed eyes, which is kind of a neat thing to see there. So that's what you should have right now. And again, just like usual, I'm gonna keep moving on, but if you need to pause to catch up, go ahead and do that. Take a look at mine. Alright. So now of course we're missing two things. We're missing the ears, and we're missing the whiskers. So, ears are pretty easy. We've done them before. Now for tiger ears, they don't have pointed kitty ears. Alright? You can't really see on this example, but let me get another example so you guys can actually see what it looks like. Let's see. They kind of have curved ears, like this. So you see, they don't point. They kind of curve. They're kind of more circular. So we want to make sure we do that with our tiger here. So all we're going to do a curved one here, curved one here. And again, it's like that sort of C shape, or a sort of half moon shape if you want to think it like that. So kind of a C curve, as we call it in the art world. Right here. And then to make the inside of the ear, go ahead and do another C curve inside. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to add some more stripes down to his neck. So if you want to do that too, feel free to. There won't be too much room for many stripes. Like, I really only have room for one or two. If you want to do some inside stripes, so like you can do, let's see here. Do some like long pyramid shapes. Or like even some like long streaks like this. You can do that too. So now in the neck you can do sort of those longer stripes because you actually have, you're not going to draw eyes in there. So you can do stripes like this if you want to. That's only if you want to. I think I'll just kind of keep my shorter stripes, honestly. And then for the whiskers, of course, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. Now, if you don't want whiskers, that's fine. What you can also do is the sort of dots that we saw in our original example. So you see those dots on his muzzle here. The dots are pretty easy. Just do big dots, so like that. And what I would do for the dots is I would do like 6 of them. So like a row, 2 rows of 3. So if you look at mine, so I did 1, 2, 3 on top and then 1, 2, 3 on bottom. Like that. And again, if you want to add the whiskers, you can. I'm going to leave the whiskers out for mine, I think, because it's kind of getting in the way of the stripes for mine. But if you have room, feel free to. And then once you have finished with that, go ahead and clean up your sketch. I'm just going around and darkening up the lines now. If you want to do that too, you can, because you should have been drawing light to begin with. You can darken up anything that you want to keep. You can start erasing and fixing things that doesn't look right now that you have the final sketch. So I'm fixing any stripes that are a little too wonky for me. I'm erasing any edges that are a little too jagged. Something like that. Yeah, that should be it. So that's how you actually draw it. And then if you have things to color with, you can go ahead and start coloring. Now, of course, the stripes are going to be black. So I'm just going to fill this in really fast. So remember, as you're coloring, try not to scribble colors. So nice, dark colors. Don't leave white in between. So the stripes will be black, of course. Now, if you need to look at my example here, my tiger, or this guy here, let me get rid of all that red stuff. So you notice, obviously, tigers are orange, and they have white and black. Now the white is going to go underneath their eyes and on their muzzle, okay? And their noses are pink. So I'm going to do the pink nose next. Okay? And then let's go ahead and do the white muzzle. Now, obviously our paper is white, so you can leave it blank if you want to. But if you have like a gray or something to sort of make it look a little different than the paper, you can use that too. But again, you can leave it blank. Up to you. And then I think I'm going to do the inside of the ear white too, because they have some white fluff, and rather than leaving it just regular orange, so it'll kind of meld in with the rest of the tiger, I'm going to do it white to make it stand out a bit. And then let's go in with an orange. That's a little too brown. It's still too brown. Hold on. Yeah, it's not too bad. Like that. Voila. We have our tiger. Now, if you want to make an abstract tiger and not do natural colors like this, like think about what we did with our cat picture. If you want to make a rainbow tiger or a blue tiger or a red tiger, you can do that. Okay. But that, I think that's about it. If you want to look a little bit more realistic, like you can add like white underneath the eyes. So if you'll see here again, they do have white underneath the eyes and around the eyes. So if you want to add some white markings underneath the eyes, you could do that. But I think that's about it. Maybe some white in the belly if you want to. But again, it's your tiger. Just some examples of different things you can do to make it look a little different or to add more detail. Something like this. Okay? And then for our background, I'm just going to do, because you should have backgrounds with most things, don't try to leave it blank. But if you're happy with how it looks, you can do that. I'm going to do green for my background, because obviously they live in jungles, forests, that sort of thing. I'm going to color that in nice green, maybe a little darker. Just like that. Okay? And you should be done. So, I hope you guys enjoyed drawing along with me. I will have a new video on Friday. And as always, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye.